Come here. Come up here. Hi. Come say hi. Say hey, everybody. Hi. Hey, guys. Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. Come back up here. I'm just going to wait for a few people to come on board. Come on. Come back up and say hi. Come on. She won't come back up. All right. So there's only two of you guys on right now. Who's on? Say hello. Let's hear who's here. I wonder if it's good to keep my screen up like that. All right, let's give a few minutes and wait for people to come on. Anybody want to say hello who's on already? All right, well, while we're waiting for people to come on, I have like 5 things I want to talk about tonight, and then hopefully get people engaged and start talking and throwing some comments so we could kind of get everybody involved, which would be kind of fun. I was hoping just give another minute for people to kind of jump on board here. Can you guys hear me okay? Anybody? All right. For some reason I'm not getting comments here. Hopefully you guys just haven't commented yet. All right. So I wanted to start talking about injuries on the job site, because I'm currently rehabbing my right shoulder, and I'm 12 weeks out of surgery. I had a torn rotator cuff called a supraspinatus, and 12 weeks out of surgery. Been doing physical therapy. What's up, guys? Thank you for saying hello, Roberto. And it's super slow and agonizing, and I'm just frustrated. I'm not really working 100% yet. I am doing some things. I'm just starting to use a little bit of light weights and rubber bands at physical therapy. So I was just wondering, any of you guys deal with anything like this? You know, deal with a rotator cuff injury or an injury, a knee injury or something, where you've been kind of hemmed up and you haven't been able to work. And how did you deal with it? Or did you just work to your capacity? You know, I can use my left hand fine and my right hand a little bit. It's like 80-20. So Jason, you had a shoulder surgery 2 years ago, I think, and you were hemmed up for a while. I think you kind of just did a bunch of client stuff, right? Hey, what's up, Eddie? Eddie, we were just talking about shoulder injuries and injuries on the job site. I wanted you guys to kind of comment a little bit about what kind of injuries you've had and whether they kind of screwed you guys up on the job site or not. I was just curious who out there has had some injuries and what you did to deal with them. November 2018 was Jason Foley. So everybody, Jason's a friend of mine, contractor, great tile guy as well. And he had a shoulder surgery as well. Jason, probably from all that troweling and hammering. But Jason, how long were you out of work for? Actually out of work. Do you remember? Hey, Rich. I don't remember. Anyway, all right, I want to move on. We'll talk a little bit about, we'll see what Jason says when he types it in. He's a slow typer. I want to tell you guys a story. So we're working in Newton, Massachusetts, and I had a demo company do this demo. 2 big bathrooms, kitchen, some other adjacent rooms. I want to talk about using subs and outsourcing later on. But anyway, so I'm using this demo contractor, and he sends me a text and says he's demoing this bathroom, and there's a tub and a shower wall. Now just visualize a tub and shower wall, and then I'm going to show you this picture. So he sends me this picture and he says, guess where this is? See if I can get it for you. All right, here it is. So here's the first picture he sends me. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's got a little bit of a glare there. That's a clawfoot tub, all right? So if I go this way, now it's hard to tell with the glare, but the white is white tile from the tub. And that, my friends, was a closet with a clawfoot tub, and on the left-hand side in the closet was a toilet. And let me see if I have any more pictures to show you. I think that was it. But so I thought that was pretty hilarious. So basically what happened was, let me see. Yeah, here it is here. So that was in the closet and the toilet. Isn't that funny? That's just kind of a cool drain that was in the tub. So needless to say, There was probably a bathroom there at one point. Maybe it was a half bath, whatever it was. I mean, no, it could have been a half bath. There was a tub there, but they didn't want to carry the tub down because it was on the 3rd floor. So what they did is they basically threw it into a closet. They walled up the closet and they put a bathroom in front of the closet. I thought it was incredibly lazy, but fun and almost like a little treasure hunt as well, because we found this, 100-year-old clawfoot tub. So needless to say, we changed the plans and we incorporated that closet, and we're going to make a custom shower. And Jason's going to help me with that, actually. So I thought you'd enjoy that story. It was kind of a funny story. Let's see who's on here. Jason, you were 3 weeks at home, very light duty for 3 months. See, I'm at 3 months right now, Jay, and I'm pretty light duty right now. Joshua says, hey, what's up? Tool guy, what do you think about Rigid Milwaukee? Do you have a good tool work site? Lots of good tools, man. You got to be more specific. Back to normal at 9 months. Eddie had a bad fall on a ladder. Someone took the leg out from under me, and I fell on my back. Oh, man. Out of work for about a week. Luckily, no permanent damage. Eddie, you are lucky. No permanent damage. So look, how's everybody doing with all this craziness? The world's crazy. It's changing daily. COVID-19. How is everybody doing out there? You doing all right? Are you guys working? Are you out of work? Leave some comments. Hello from Belgium. I want to ask you a question. What has changed for you guys, or what has annoyed you? I'll tell you what's annoyed me is I haven't been able to get a haircut. So what I did the other day is you can see right there, I screwed myself up. I gave myself a haircut in the mirror with a pair of shears. I pay for a haircut. I have a guy do it. He does a nice tapered job, leaves it a little long. I do a little comb over on the top. I butchered my hair. That's why I'm wearing a hat. My wife is like horrified by that. It'll grow back, but no haircuts. Northern Ireland, what's up? Hey, James. So haircuts. Anybody frustrated because you can't get a haircut, or you're dealing with your own, maybe you're cutting your own hair? I'm just curious how everybody is doing with all this stuff. There's lots of stuff we could be talking about. I'm hoping you guys will comment a little bit more and we'll get some engagement going here. Let's talk a little bit about exercise. Has anybody been exercising at home now versus going to a gym? Do you exercise? And if you don't, if you're a contractor and you don't exercise, you're a fool, because your body will give up and break down. I've been exercising at home. Now, again, I have shoulder surgery, so I can't use my right arm. So I'm using my left arm only and doing legs. I've been doing squats, air squats. I have a rubber band that I put around my neck and my feet, and I do exercising. Are you running? Are you doing something to stay healthy while all these gyms and exercise places are closed? Let's see what you guys say. Hey, Michael, how are you, buddy? So it looks like Rego Pitt shattered his ankle. He was out of work for a year. That sucks. Scott Arnold, buzz cuts. No, Scotty, I don't know. I'm just trying to taper it. I could buzz it. You're right. I could just buzz it and get rid of that. Davey Allen says, could we do another multi-tool head-to-head with carbide blades? I don't know if that would change the performance of the tool, the carbide blade, if they're all the same blades, but we could probably do an updated one probably this year, because there's some new ones out. Love your tool reviews. Daytona Beach in the house. Daytona Beach. Cheers. Beautiful weather down there right now. The lockdown has stopped me eating fried food and Cokes. Well, that's good, James. That's a good thing. What else are you guys doing? Are you drinking more? I think I probably am, to be honest. I'll be completely honest. I think I am. Normally I'd be out more. So I don't know. What do you guys, are you frustrated, lack of haircuts? Are you exercising? Are you drinking more? What are some of the things that you're finding you're frustrated with this COVID-19? Are you out of work? Is there less work? I know my brother, he's a plumber. He has lots of demand for him, but he's very cautious about going into people's houses. And some people could care less. They're sick and they don't even tell him until he got there one day. And somebody was home with like flu-like symptoms, and he's like, I'm not coming in. So that's the whole thing. We're supposed to have these COVID-19 December babies, right? RBG is in the house. Mr. Gnomes, I think is how you say it. How are you, buddy? In Belgium, we go out and do sport, and we go jogging and some cycling. Alex, I can't run anymore, brother. My knees, my hips, I wish I could run. That would be the best exercises. Go out for a 3-mile run, you're done. Roberto Jimenez says they just stopped selling alcohol here, and I'm only 10 beers left. Wow. Jumping a scotch in a couple. Roberto, where are you? Why do they stop selling alcohol? It's horrible. And Smooth 420 is saying he's smoking more than usual. So Smooth, with the 420 on the end of your handle there, I'm assuming you're smoking weed more than normal, as opposed to cigarettes or something like that. But no judgment zone. I got my own little weed right here. Dave, you want to show me a cordless tool? Here's a cordless tool right here. All right, let's talk about work. All right. Here's a question for you guys. Do you pack a lunch? I want to know. Leave me a comment. Do you pack a lunch to work, or do you buy at work? And if you buy, why? And if you pack a lunch, why? Tell me why, where I'm going. Where am I going with this? Jason Foley knows. Stop touching my face. Whatever, Dave. I'm home. What do you want me to do? Do you pack a lunch? Leave a comment, and why. And if you don't, tell me why you buy every day. So if you're buying every day, you're spending anywhere between $8 and $15 a day. That's what? That's $60, $70 a week, right? Ish. I buy coffee. I bring coffee and I'll buy coffee if we're near a coffee shop, but I mostly bring coffee. So Dave says no packing a lunch. So Dave, why not? Because you don't want to go shopping, you don't want to take the time in the morning because you sleep last minute, or you like going out to get food. Tell me why. I want to know. So James packs a lunch, but fries in the morning. He sets them up for the day. Bill Hall says he packs one every day because I know what I'm going to eat. You eat the leftovers. Good. I make enough to buy lunch. So Dave, this is what I wanted to get at. Are you a business owner, or do you work for somebody and you get paid for lunch? Alex, I'm preparing my lunch. Nice. Saves time. Jason Foley says it saves time. I pay my team during lunch. Good job, Jason. That's where I'm headed. Dave says it's too inconvenient to make food. I like going out. It gets me out of the house. Dave, are you a pro contractor, or are you just working at home and going out to eat? Because that's what I'm going at is job site work, paid lunch, not paid lunch, bringing a lunch, not bringing a lunch. I'll get to where I'm going in a minute. You're a pro. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to comment before I get into this? Scotty Arnold, you bring a lunch, you buy a lunch when you're on your job sites. Come on, guys. I want to see some things. How about you, Smooth 420? You buying a lunch? All right. I'm sure you guys will comment while I'm talking. Lots of contractors, lots of bosses. They will they'll work like say 7 to 3:30, unpaid lunch. They give the guys an unpaid 30-minute lunch. We work 7 to 3. I pay my guys for lunch. So they get 8 hours of work plus an unpaid half-hour lunch. I give my guys 7.5 hours of work plus a half-hour paid lunch. That's equivalent to anywhere between a $4,000 and a $5,000 benefit that I give my guys. It's a benefit. Do you have in the U.S. some kind of lunch ticket to buy lunch? Because in Belgium we receive certain company tickets. No, we don't have that. So what I'm getting at is this. If you got a 30-minute window to buy lunch and you've got to drive 10 minutes to go get lunch, maybe you're smart enough to call it in. I hope you're smart enough to call it in. And you get there and you're waiting in line, you get it. So now 10 minutes has gone by, 5 minutes in line, you pay for it, another 10 minutes to get back. You are now 25 minutes into your lunch break, and you just got back to the job site, and now you got to eat your lunch. Are you really taking a half-hour lunch, or are you taking longer? And I think you're taking longer. And if you are, that's not fair to your boss. So if you bring in your lunch, there's a couple of other benefits to that. First of all, you can pack healthier. You can control what you eat. You can, pack as much as you want. But you've got 30 minutes of lunch. I think that 30 minutes is important to take. And I think it's good rest, whether you want to surf on your phone, check your email, make a phone call. So if you think about it, let's just do the quick math. What's an average lunch cost? 10, 15 bucks? Let's call it 12 bucks, right? So 12 bucks an hour, 12 bucks for lunch, sorry. 12 bucks times 5 is 60, right? We know that, times 52. That's $3,120 a year. $3,120 a year that you probably would spend less than a third of that buying food in bulk in your refrigerator and preparing lunch. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that because I find it fascinating. I like business 101. I like business techniques, and Jason Foley and I talk about this stuff all the time. And we will find a way to get you on this, Jason. I'm working on it. But I just think it's fascinating. As a worker, they don't think about this stuff. They just go. And sometimes you're taking advantage of your boss. Sometimes your boss is well aware of it, and that's cool. You do what you do. But in reality, I think it's better served if you take that half hour as a rest time and eat, and you're not driving around. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Cole says 50-50. Leo says, hi, everyone, bring lunch and coffee. Nice. Try to bring lunch usually, says Cole. Dave says, wow, no, man, 1 hour. So, Dave, you get an hour lunch. So what is your work day? Is it like 7 to 4 and you work 8 hours and you get an hour lunch, paid or unpaid? I'd be curious. What about nap time? I love it, Jason. We get 30 minutes to eat, so everyone bring a lunch to save time. Alex, I'm with you on that. I want to be a construction worker, Lewis. Okay. Always bring my lunch, saves a lot of money. Yeah, like I said, it's going to save you at least $3,000, maybe more. And if you bring your coffee to work in the morning, you're going to save another $1,000, $2,000 a year probably as well. All right. Let's talk a little bit more. Let's move on. Talking about work, let's talk a little bit about dust collection. Now, there's two places for dust collection. There's dust collection on the job site, and it's a very, very different look and animal and tools than dust collection in the shop. So one of the comments on my YouTube community posting when I posted this live chat earlier, I said, tell me what you guys want to talk about. Two guys commented. They wanted to talk about organization and dust collection. So let's talk dust collection right now. And Ben Bowers, a new business owner, you appreciate the advice. Thanks. No problem, Ben. Love it. When we complete a project, I will treat the team to lunch. Good choice. Good chance for actions and team building. Absolutely, Jason. I try to do like quarterly, I do a team breakfast or dinner with beer, kind of as team building as well. We usually do that after a big project as well. All right, dust collection. Let's start on the job site. What are you guys using for dust collection on the job site? Now, I mean, we could be talking demo, we could be talking cutting wood, just cutting things and installing. There's lots of things we could talk about, but for starters, we pretty much will set up zip walls. We'll do plastic wall containment systems. We'll run a build clean HEPA filter when it's messy and dirty. We'll protect the floors. I use either the Ram board, we've used Masonite, and I just got turned on to a new product by Jason. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a white, sticky, cloth-like material that you put down on the floors. It's awesome. And I just bought 2 rolls online. So we do that. Then we try to collect dust at the source. So if we're running a table saw, I'll set up a rigid vac, just an extra rigid vac that I've had for years with the HEPA filter on it. And that's dedicated to the table saw. We might do the same thing with a dust extractor on the miter saw. And then anytime we're cutting concrete, we try to collect the dust or cut wet. So that's what we do on the job site. What are you guys doing? Oh, by the way, there's lots of tools coming out now that have built-in dust collection. Like some of these cordless STS drills from Bosch and Makita, Milwaukee, DeWalt, they have these little STS HEPA filters on them as well, which is kind of cool. So tell me what you're using for dust collection on the job site. Let's see what we got here. So Dave, rigid shop vac. Okay, good. You're going to do way better by vacuuming as opposed to sweeping. Sweeping is going to kick up dust. Vacuuming is going to collect it. You got to clean that vacuum. You got to tap out that filter to keep it clean. And then you got to replace the filter once in a while. I've seen some really ratty filters. Replace the filter. Usually after every big job, we replace the filter. Maybe every 2 months or a month or so. Will Endicott is in the house. Everybody say hello to Will Endicott. Toolbox Buzz crew member, friend, stud contractor, and a carrot top, redhead. We like to call him our redheaded stepchild, Will. Just kidding. Anyway, everybody say hi to Will. Will says, I use a zip wall dust extractor and a rigid air mover ducted outside. Ram board on the floor. Absolutely. That's because you're a stud, Will, and we love you. Alex says, as a woodworking company, we just place the cabinet in the customer order or desk, and we just take the Metabo vacuum. So you're probably building off-site, Alex. You're installing and you just vacuum up when you're done. Maybe you've got some scribing dust or something, but not a whole lot of dust. All right, Dave. What is Dave saying? Dave is saying when everybody's gone and the job is outside, cordless leaf blow, baby, blow that shit away. Dave, yeah, why not? Outside, blow it away. That's the other thing. So if we can cut outside and it's convenient and it makes sense, and the weather here in the Northeast is cooperating, we're cutting outside. Whether we're cutting tile, wood, we're ripping on a table saw. Absolutely cut outside if possible. But you're on a third floor now. You don't want to keep going up and down those stairs. It's exhausting. You'll do 10,000 steps in an hour. So that's when you want to set up a little containment area in the house and do something like that. All right. Anybody else? Dust collection on the job site? Anything else anybody else does? And be down with it. Absolutely. Let's talk about the workshop. So as far as workshop goes, what I've tried to do in my shop is all the major dust creating tools: table saw, router, joiner, sanding station, miter saw, all get direct dust collection, direct, hooked up 100% of the time. I just use dust ports and what do you call those things? Can't think of what you call them. You guys going out?
Yeah.
Bye. Okay. So I use that, and then I vacuum constantly. So people who have seen my shop comment like, do you use your shop? Yes, I do. And I vacuum daily. So if in my shop, I use it. If I'm done using my shop, I vacuum that day. I make time every time I'm in my shop to vacuum that day. Why? Because that's what keeps the dust down. You're not traipsing around and walking around on it. So anyway, that's what I do in the shop. I have various ports, and I hook up sanders to those and things like that. So I use I have a Jet 1.5 or 2 horsepower dust collector from my table saw and router, and I have a Grizzly 2 horsepower dust collector trunked through my shop, running to various tools with what are those things called? They're like little guillotine things, dust ports, I guess. All right, let's see what you guys say. All right. Do you use that bucket truck when cutting tile inside? I don't know what a bucket truck is. Maybe Jason does. Bucket trick, maybe? Bucket trick. Cutting in a bucket or what? Water? No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. You'll have to tell me what that trick is. Will Endicott says, on remodels, I usually provide a bunch of air filters for the homeowners as well. I switch them out every couple of days. Smart. Air filters like in their HVAC system. That's brilliant. I didn't even think of that, Will. Absolutely. If you're working in a house where people are living, I call that when you're remodeling in place, so to speak, you've got to cover up you got to take care of either shut the HVAC system down if you're gutting and creating dust, or you got to put a filter over the intakes, or you got to turn it off and block them for a period of time. And then, like Will says, change out the filters as well. That's smart. And if I know Will, he puts that right into his line items and he budgets that right in. Dave says, Gates, hello from New York City. I was wondering what would be a good 12-volt system for a maintenance worker. 12-volt system, probably the biggest 12-volt system would be Milwaukee, DeWalt's okay, and Bosch second. Although Hilti is starting to build up to 12 volts. Jay Farmer, Rob, do you know if Makita will ever release an 18-volt PR36 cordless table saw? I ask him that every single year, and every year I get maybe. They're working on it. They probably try to figure out if they can get enough power out of it with 2 batteries. Problem with Makita is they don't really have high amp hour batteries yet. What's the highest one they have now? 8, 6? It's 8. So they don't have a high amp hour battery, whereas DeWalt has the FlexVolt 12 amp hour. Milwaukee has a 12 amp hour. Metabo HPT has the FlexVolt, a multi-volt. So they need to bring the amps up on the batteries before they do something like that. The vacuum thingies are called gates, dust port gates, or something like that. Yeah. All right. So we talked about dust, job site and workshop dust collection. Let's talk a little bit about outsourcing. So I hinted earlier that I use this demo guy now. All right, does anybody outsource? So the question is, and I want to see if you guys have comments, as a general contractor, if you're running your own company or you're running your own jobs and you hire the electrician, you're hiring the plumber, are you outsourcing things? So what do I mean by that? I'm not a plumber, I'm not an electrician. I'm absolutely going to hire those subs. But as a remodeling contractor, I used to demo, frame, tile, finish, install cabinets, do everything. I would do everything. Insulate. I wouldn't plaster because we do plaster Northeast. A lot of guys do drywall. Dave says he does it all. So Dave, you're the perfect candidate tonight for some reason. Tag, you're it. But so you can't trust other people to do the job. Dave, I would argue with you that you need to look closer or find different subs that you can trust. I've been using the same guys for 18 years. I seek out like-minded people, like Will Endicott, like Jason Foley, Scott Arnold, those guys that want to do a good job, that follow best practices, that are invested. And Jason, what is that term you always use? Extreme ownership. So that take ownership in what they do, take pride, they do it right. So here's where I'm getting with this. For years, I demoed. And right before I had my shoulder surgery, it was sore. I knew I needed surgery, but I was working around it, and I was demoing, and I was pulling on a pry bar, and I was hitting with a sledgehammer. And for like 2 weeks after, my shoulder throbbed. And I said, you know what? 52 years old, been doing this a long time. My body's starting to bark at me. So I need to find a better way. So where are you, Dave? Tell me where you are. So look, here's where I went with this. My brother, the plumber, was in a job in Brookline, Massachusetts. And he's like, I ran into this guy. He's a demo guy. That's all he does. He's awesome. You should see how neat they are. They put everything in bags. They carry it out of the house. They don't even use a chute, blah, 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 blah. They got this system with a ladder and a pulley system. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give him a call. So I called him. He priced the next job for me. It was a bathroom remodel. It was a bathroom, 2 bathrooms and a kitchen remodel. He priced it like $3,000 less than I had priced it in my line item. So I hired him. I wanted to try it out. And my brother, he's a good judge of character. They were awesome. I didn't have to lift a finger, and they were clean. Now, I still did floor protection. I still did the plastic walls. I still threw a HEPA filter in there, and I still had to manage the job. But they were awesome. So outsourcing is smart, Dave. Let me see what you guys are saying. For electricity and plumbing, we can't do the electricity and plumbing either, code-wise. Will Endicott says, depending on the size of the remodels, if they're smaller, it's hard to find subs willing to take the jobs. But in larger jobs, hell yes, I subcontract. Money is time, time is money. Yep. So anyway, my point here is look for opportunities to outsource. Find somebody who just does this, and they can do it better, faster, and cheaper, and they're equipped to do it all the time. For example, I can do a little bit of tiling. I'll do a backsplash. Jason Foley's a stud tiler. He's forgotten more than I know. I would hire Jason in a heartbeat to tile for me because Jason can do it faster, more efficient, and better. And he knows the tricks. He knows the workarounds. He knows the system. It's going to take me longer. Jason will probably do it faster and cheaper than I could do it because it'll take longer to do it. It's going to take more time. That's my time. That's my hourly rate. It's not worth it. So outsourcing makes sense. So here's a story. So the other day I'm at a job site, and I had priced this 2-bathroom kitchen remodel in Newton, and it's demoed now. I had that company demo it. And we're looking at insulation, and it's 200-year-old house, and it's framed. It's messed up frame, balloon framed. It's a mess. And I'm like, how are we going to insulate this? The walls aren't 16 on center. Nothing fits. And ice dam haven, right? We're just going to have problems. And I'm like, well, I know I have a line item for insulation, but I'm going to call my spray foam installer, Frank Bood. So Frank's an awesome guy, another like-minded, smart businessman. So I get Frank out there. Frank comes in, and he's right on. He's like a little less than my line item, and he's going to do extra. So my point is, the guys that focus on this, the guys that are doing this for a regular job, they're laser focused on what they do. They can be competitive. They can do a better job. They know their business. They know the codes. They know how to do what they got to do. So start thinking about hiring them to do those aspects and marking them up. Mark them up 20%. Make money off them. Manage them as a general contractor. So just think about that. What other things are you outsourcing? Tell me what you guys are doing that you used to do, something you used to do that now somebody else could do as good or better, and you make money off it. I want to hear it. Leave me some comments right now. All right, let me catch up here. Greetings from Taiwan. Hello, sir. Ricardo says hello. Dave, you're in Canada. Interesting. Okay. Dave, there's lots of good guys in Canada. Come on, look at Instagram. They're all over the place. Alex 18 says, for electricity and plumbing, we can't do in Belgium. I read that already. Alex says, shout out from Winnipeg, Canada. Love the channel. Hey, Alex. Jason Foley says, as a remodeler, I provide all cleaning equipment. Big boy rules for cleanup. So let's talk about that for a second, Jason. I actually write on my vacuum, empty daily. I put blue tape on every job on my barrels, and I write empty this barrel daily. I have vacuums, brooms, dustpans, barrels, extra plastic, blue tape, extra floor protection. Everything is on site in there. I bring my subs. They already know me. I've been using these guys for years, but they come in. I have the same talk with them. They roll their eyes at me like, I know. Plumber. Hey, guys, here you are. The job site's yours today. Barrels are yours to use. They should not be full when I get in. They should be empty by tomorrow. When you're done with those barrels, empty them in the dumpster, leave them empty for the next contractor. By the way, sweep up. There's a vacuum there, vacuum. Leave the place cleaner than you found it. I will vacuum the joist bays for you. I will make sure that you work like a gentleman, but I want you to clean up after you. Don't leave shit behind. I freaking hate that. It drives me crazy. Dave says, why would I outsource when I could do all this stuff, get a permit from a local inspector, get a pass? No one will do it the way I want. Hence, I don't want subs. So, Dave, you're a control freak. Maybe you're making great money. Maybe you are. But maybe you could be doing two jobs, subbing that job out. The demo guy could be subbing. You could be doing the finish on another job, and then you move to this job, and then they demo the next job, and you could be making, I don't know, 30% more money, profit. Something to think about. That brings me to the next. I'm glad you're making money, by the way, but I'm trying to get you to think a little broader about outsourcing. There's a reason why we don't make power tools in the United States anymore, because they make them cheaper. And by the way, just as good as we used to make. I know you won't like hearing that, but just as good as we can make them here, except we don't have to pay the laborers, health care and all that stuff. And that's why companies are doing that. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I try to support U.S. companies when I can, but that's why people outsource, because you can make more money by finding someone to do it as good or better, cheaper. All right. All right. Let's talk about business 101. Since we're talking about outsourcing and making money, Dave, business 101. What do I mean by that? So I'm always trying to improve what I do, hence the outsourcing. What are some of the common frustrations that you guys have in business right now? There's several. So if I think about this off the top of my head, there's probably three big ones that you all could agree on. There's lack of control, there's people, and there's profit. So lack of control. Lack of control, meaning not enough time in the day. That's time management. It could be that the business, you don't have control of your business. You don't have control. You don't understand your business. It could mean that, Jason, that's awesome. It could mean that your business is running you and you're not running your business. So I like my business to run for me. I like me running my business. I don't want to be run by my business. I don't want to be spending countless hours working on it. I want it to be finely tuned, well-oiled machine. People are frustrating. You could be frustrated with your employees. You could be frustrated with your client. You could be frustrated with your vendors. And then, of course, there's profit. And when it comes to profit, there's usually not enough of it, right? So you're not making enough money. You're not making the money you want to make. So what are some of the frustrations, common frustrations that you guys are seeing or feeling in your business? Now, if you work for somebody, maybe you don't have those frustrations. Maybe you just want to be paid more or appreciated more. So that's fine too. I want to hear that. If you are like me and you're a small business, I have 2 employees. If you're a general contractor with a couple employees, What are your frustrations? For me, I think I'm pretty good on time management. I've got time management locked in, laser focused. Mine's people. I get frustrated with my people because I sometimes we're not seeing on the same, same page, or we're not aligned with the same goals. Profit, sure. I would love to make more profit. So I'm always doing things to maximize profit, whether it's become more efficient, whether it's utilize different methods, whether it's a software program like a Quicken or QuickBooks that I'm using, or Excel, or whether it's outsourcing and finding someone who can do it as good or better for the same or less price, and I can focus my efforts elsewhere. So tell me what you think. What are some of the common business frustrations for you? Let's see what you guys are saying here. Dave, you can't stand it when people want cheap work. Neither can I, brother. There's three kinds of work. There's good work, fast. That won't be cheap. There's good work, cheap. Let me say, that won't be, how's that go? There's a saying, good work, cheap. Good work, cheap, won't be fast. Fast work, cheap, won't be good. I can't think of the third one. But anyway, you're right. I hate cheap work too. All right. So Alex says the customer is arguing with you because of the wood. So Alex, I think if I read into what you're saying, they don't like the quality of wood you're using or the materials, that's fine. Have a conversation with them and upgrade. Say, look, this is what we're offering for this price. We could also upgrade to mahogany or epay, or we could go up to maple or oak, quarter sawn oak. Talk to them about what some of the options are. Show them samples. Have samples with you in your truck when you're doing your estimates, and upcharge that. Sell that as an upgrade. Let me say, Jason Foley, COVID-19 is very frustrating. We can talk about that. I was trying not to go on COVID-19 because we've done that a little bit before. Let me see. Dave, I always have to show your comments because you're always swearing here. Everyone here feels I don't like being alone. COVID-19 is bullshit. I agree with you. It is a triangle. There's a if you go online and search that good work cheap or good fast cheap, you'll see the little logo I'm talking about. I have a sign in my trailer with that. Good and cheap is not fast. Good and fast is not cheap. Good and fast is not good. Thank you, Dave. That's it. All right, so let me see. It's me, Rob. Hey, Rob. It's me, Rob. That's actually your name. Love the videos and wisdom. I really appreciate. Stay aware. Keep safe. Thank you, sir. I'm doing well, sir. That's from Ninja. Good work. Fast is not cheap. Absolutely. All right. So Bill Mayer says if it's fast and cheap, it won't be good. If it's cheap and good, it won't be fast. If it's fast and good, it will never be cheap. Absolutely. So I actually have that in my trailer. It's a sign that I had made up, and I did it as a joke, and people love it. People love seeing it. So I have two signs in my tool trailer. I have that, and then I have quality is doing things right when nobody's looking. And you can interchange quality with integrity because it's really the same thing. In life, it's integrity. When you're doing carpentry and you're producing a product, it's quality, but it's still integrity. So quality or integrity is doing the things right when no one's looking. And I believe that was coined by Henry Ford. Lots of people have used it and done stuff with it in the since then, but it's so true. It's so true. When I'm entrusted to, open up a wall that has rot damage, and, I'm like, okay, do we cover this up? Do we just throw some new insulation on, put new plywood over these rotted studs, or do we get into this? You got to do the right thing. You got to make the right decision. You got to make the best decision for the client, or at least make them aware of it and give them the options and what options they have. But covering it over and leaving that rot is not a good thing. You get mold, dry rot, all kinds of stuff, structural damage. So quality or integrity is doing the right thing when you're looking. Okay, so Ben's frustration is competing with unlikely builders. Surprisingly, a lot of them, and clients go with them because they are cheaper. So Ben, that's a really hard frustration. For years, we would struggle with that. We used to call them the guys from New Hampshire. They would come down with pickup trucks, no license, no insurance, no workers' comp, and they would do work in Massachusetts because there was jobs and work. Yeah, I don't know how you deal with that. I mean, maybe we have some good comments here. Other than you need to sell yourself as a quality service that people want. They want you to do the work. They want you to do the work because You do things right when no one's looking. You take dust control measures. You clean up well after yourself. You have good communication skills. You follow through on what you say you're going to do. You have a detailed, written, and organized and legal contract, and you do exactly that way. And you're professional. And I think if you can sell yourself that way, then I think those guys don't have a chance against you because people want you to do the work. You become the commodity. All right. OGL says, if you want it fast and cheap. All right, we've already done that. Sorry, buddy. Pistol Pete's back in town, guys. I haven't seen Pistol Pete in a while. Pistol Pete says, it all depends on what you think is good. So I'm not sure what you're referring to, but if it's quality of work, I often talk to my guys about levels of quality and understanding the client and the job and the budget. So we have A, B, and C. So actually we have museum quality, A, B, and C. So museum quality is exactly that. It's mansions, it's high end, it's probably time and material plus cost plus. It's huge money. There's A. Everybody wants A. Nobody really knows what it looks like, and nobody wants to pay for A. Then there's B or B minus. B plus, B minus. That is a good place to work. That is a good place to live. You provide B minus to B plus work, and you give it's priced well, and you deliver, and you communicate, and you clean, and all that stuff, and you'll be busy forever. And then there's C. And C I refer to as rentals, people trying to flip houses, people trying to sell a house for a sale. And we try to avoid C, and we try to stay away from it. So we try to live in that B range. The reality is most people want to pay C prices for B work, but they say they want A because they don't recognize A. So remember, nobody really understands A except us and very, very few people. All right, let's see here. Will Endicott says, my biggest issue is people. I expect subs, customers, employees to do just what they say they're going to do. That doesn't happen that often. Will, my experience with you, sir, is you're an incredibly honest person and trustworthy, and it bothers you when people let you down. I get that. It pisses me the frick off. I would just say keep doing what you do because you're good at it, and hold people to their what they say they're going to do, and if they don't, cut them out. Let them go. Give them a warning. Say, listen, you told me you're going to do this. You didn't do this. If you don't do this, I'm not going to hire you again. I'm going to hire somebody else. I'll find somebody else. I'll do it myself if I have to. I'll hire Dave because Dave does it all. Dave, will you come down to Missouri from Canada? We might need you. Anyway, stick to your guns, Will. Don't sacrifice your principles for anybody. All right, Dave says, this is why I never use PEX. Type L copper for water supplies. I can't stand cheaping out of the stupid PEX crap. So, Dave, I don't know if I agree with you on that. PEX is rated for 100 years, as is copper. Copper corrodes. If you use the high quality fittings, it's done right, and it's pressure tested, I don't see an issue with PEX. Especially, it's extremely useful in remodels because we're dealing with existing spaces and chases or trying to create a chase or something like that. I do think that copper is probably better quality. It also takes longer. And again, this is probably a system where you could potentially consider becoming more efficient. If you went with PEX, you'd have to do the investment of the tool, which is expensive, but I think it would pay for itself in the long run. And I think you could maximize your profits. You'd probably be faster on your jobs. You should at least consider it and do a little research. I'll tell you what, go check out one of those PEX manufacturing plants. See if you can get invited to do a tour. And you might change your tune on that when you see how well they do that in the testing and the standards that they put themselves through. All right, Jason Foley says, educate the client. Most have no idea about our work and had bad experience with other contractors. Jason is absolutely right. It's all about communication, education, and selling yourself. And that's part of educating. So you got to educate them on what most people don't know what best practice is. If you're a contractor that does best practice and you're frustrated because you're getting undercut by these guys who are not doing best practice, you have to explain to the client, educate that client. Look, this is best practice. This is code. This is what we do. This is why we do this. We don't have callbacks, or we warranty for a year or two after. We do this, or educate. Sell them on why it's better to go with the contractor who goes those extra steps, who's going to do the best practice, best job, who is going to have their best interests in mind and do things right when they're not looking. All right, Alex, a big issue in Belgium, the little contractor gets eaten up by the big construction companies. Really? So, Alex, here in the States, the big contractors are building skyscrapers, schools, companies, mansions. They're not building small houses typically. There are companies that build 4 or 5 houses at a time, and it's hard to compete with those guys on building a house per se, but I don't see that here. There are some high-end remodeling companies in my area that are hard to compete with. They're good guys and they do good work. I don't know, but if you're good and you do what you say you're going to do, you should be pushing that and promoting that. And by the way, you should be using social media, following up with your clients, your past clients via email, staying in touch with them. Maybe consider a newsletter that you put out quarterly just to get that FaceTime with your clients. Hi, it's me. I'm out here still. Remember we built that deck for you? It's good to have that FaceTime with clients. Maybe you come up with a program where you do some maintenance work. You offer a 1-year or 2-year inspection where you'll do some caulking and a few little minor repairs for free. 1 hour, 1 hour's worth of time just to get in there, look around, and it's FaceTime with a client. There's lots of things that's a whole other topic we could talk about. Marketing, FaceTime, and creating and generating business and referrals. We could do another live chat on that. All right. Ninja says best business is from word of mouth. Quality of work always shines through. You know what? I agree with you. Word of mouth is huge. But it's funny. Word of mouth, people think word of mouth, so that translates into referrals. And people think the best referrals are your past clients. And I've done a video on this. Some of you may have seen it. I did some research and I went back and looked at a couple of years past of all my past clients. Most of the work that I did came from my subcontractors, my painting contractor, my plumber, my electrician, my plasterers to some extent, and more recently, my installation contractor. I've been getting a ton of work from these guys. I also get a ton of work through my website, Concord Carpenter. And I realize my website's good size, but having a website, creating content, blog content, a newsletter where you have contact with people, that puts you out there, and that helps with referrals as well. Okay, Dave, listen, when I see people with Stabila versus Milwaukee Red Stick, you are hiring. Pick the guy with the Stabila, like me, Stabila RB. So, Dave, I have both. I don't know. Does that mean you're going to pick me half the time and not half the time? Stabila's a great level. Red Stick's a great level. There's Irwin. There's lots of levels out there. You could have a stiletto hammer. You could swing a hard hammer. Your work is your work. You can do really good work with a Ryobi circular saw if you have a good blade on it. So, not that I'm going to use a Ryobi circular saw, but my point is, I wouldn't pick a contractor based on the tools. I would pick a contractor based on how clean they were, how professional they appeared, how they looked, how they communicated, and if they could educate and sell themselves. I would pick a contractor that way. But don't. It's almost like choosing a book by its cover. I wouldn't choose a contractor just because they had a Stabila level or a Martinez hammer or something like that. Plastic 100 years. What plastic? Last 100. PEX will last a long time, my friend. The fittings probably not. Tim Corbett says customers who get you to do a quote just for leverage to get you bidding against other contractors. My price is my price, and I want to charge for my quotes now. So Tim Corbett, I charge for my estimates. Jason Foley charges for his estimates. You can start low. Start at $150. Don't call it an estimate. Call it a consultation. Dear Mr. Robillard, we would like you to build a deck for us. Could you come by and give us some ideas on the best placement for this deck? We'd like to maybe have a trellis in the back. Dear client, I would love to come give you ideas. By the way, 25 years of experience building decks and houses. I've got some good ideas. I'm not going to give those for free. That's proprietary. That's my time, my experience, my expertise. So, dear client, I would love to come give you I would love to come give you ideas on your deck. We charge a $150 consultation fee for a 1-hour visit and a detailed written proposal. If you choose to hire us, we will credit that $150 back toward the project. I am available this Saturday morning between 9 and 11 p.m. Please let me know what time is best for you. So I put it right back on their lap. When I first did this, I didn't think I would Tim, I didn't think I was going to get people to bite. They're biting like crazy to the point that I upped it to 200. And sometimes when people ask for, we want to build a deck and we want you to look at a bathroom, we want you to look at a kitchen, I charge double, 300. And they take it. And I can't tell you how many people just want my ideas and they don't even hire me because they're going to have their brother-in-law do it. They want a contractor to find a leak or to tell you if that's a structural bearing wall that can be removed. And then they're going to do it themselves. So they'll pay the $300 for that, just like they'd pay a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, or an architect to sketch something for them. So charge. And if you want, you can shoot me an email. It's robertrobillard@comcast.net, ROBILLARD. Shoot me an email and I'll help you with that. I'll try to give you some guidance on that if I can. I also did a video on that, Tim. So maybe search back. It's under business tips. Okay. Susie's back in town, everybody. Hi, Susie. Oh, you're still alive. Remember when I told you it was your air small? Susie, you're like doomsday. Everybody's dying in your book. I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing well, Susie. All right. So Ninja says, do you happen to catch the drama with Louis Rossman, another YouTuber, on how got scammed from a contractor? Crazy. No, I did not. I don't look at him at all. Susie, you're absolutely right. No free estimates. Susie, are you in the trades? Tell me what trade you're in. Jason Foley says car dealerships charge to diagnose a check engine light. Doctors charge a sick visit. And lawyers don't give free advice ever. They'll give you a little bit, but you got to come back for more. All right. Detail and remodeling. Yes, we charge consultation fees always. How much? How much and what do you provide for that? Just a written proposal? Give me a little bit more on that. Yeah, I know, Susie. I hear you. Let me see. Ninja says automotive techs have the same concept, crediting diagnosis on vehicles and dealerships. Susie, I will call you the fact master. Just don't hurt me. You own several things. So, Susie, are you a landlord, investor where you work on your own homes, or are you just interested in these kind of videos? I was wondering if you were a pro contractor or not. A lot of the folks here are pro contractors or folks interested in tools, woodworkers, and stuff like that. That's all. Looking for it. All right. We've been talking, holy smokes, we've been talking for 52 minutes. I've pretty much gone through all the things I wanted to talk about. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Leave a comment right now. You want to talk about tool reviews, things coming up? Do you want to talk about maybe some how-to videos you'd like to see me do? There's some great tips that I've been working on. You'll see them coming out this week. There's a really cool silicone tip that I want to work on with Jason Foley. At some point, we just got to coordinate. Busy. Jason keeps texting me, and it's got me laughing. All right, here we go. Susie, I like 2 weeks. Maybe the CDC will let everybody know. All right. So DT Tile and Remodeling, or Detail and Remodeling, says to show up and go over the project verbally on site, give them as much as needed. Really? So you charge to show up and do this, and you don't give them anything in writing. That I don't agree with. I think you should give them something. At a minimum, this is what I do. This is only what I do. I'm offering this for whatever it's worth. At a minimum, I will give them an email with my advice, my recommendations, or referrals. Here's my painting contractor. Here's an electrician. Here's this, is that, and boom, send it off to them. And then sometimes what I'll say is, if this is agreeable to you, price, there'll be a price there as well. If this is agreeable to you and you want to move forward, please let me know and I will write up a detailed and written proposal. So I'll try to lay it out in an email so I don't have to type out a proposal, but most of the time it's a proposal. So, all right. Ninja says, what kind of scotch or whiskey are you drinking? You're making me thirsty. This is just Bullet. It's an old fashioned. So it's got bitters, a little bit of simple syrup, and bourbon in my favorite glass. It says, beware the old man in a world where young men die young. Right, Jason? Jason gets that. This is Ranger Up, by the way. Ranger Up makes this. All right, so Pistol Pete says, just got a Shaper Origin. Loving it. Really? Ooh, sexy. All right, why don't we don't do proposals? We are not in the proposal writing business. So what do? You tile and remodeling. What are you talking about? Of course you should write proposals. It's called a contract. If you're doing anything over $1,000 in my state of Massachusetts, you have to have a written contract. So anyway, You recommend talking to a lawyer about payroll in your business. So what I did, Susie, was I wrote up a contract, came up with a contract idea, and then I had 2 or 3 different lawyers go over it and go through it and refine it. And I probably have them do that every couple of years. And it's funny, every time I work for a lawyer, they try to rewrite my contract for me. Sometimes I get good ideas from that, sometimes I don't. All right, what else? Yes, they are ready to move forward. We write up a contract. Oh, okay. So you do write a contract. Howie Z is in the house, everybody. 30 years ago, Howie says, I ran an ad in the back of the Hot Ride magazine and been busy ever since. Holy smokes. That is awesome. Probably cost you maybe $75 for that ad. Are you doing with the contractors here only on digital paperwork, mailed and signed contract? I do an emailed contract. I usually ask them to send it back to me signed, and then I bring them a signed copy back as well. Ninja said, I watched your installation driver video you guys did. Were a bit tough on the Bosch. The Bosch was awesome. It's not the newer Bosch because they didn't send us a new Bosch. We tested it a few months back and we held on to it. The problem is a lot of times we do these tests months in advance because we're sitting on an unreleased tool. And this time it was Hilti. Hilti gave us their tool. Nobody else had it, but we were gagged until just this week when they said we could finally start talking about the tool. So, and in between that time and this week, Bosch comes out with a new driver that we didn't test. I need to buy a new miter saw that stays in my shop, and I hesitate between the DeWalt 780 or the Bosch GM12. I like the DeWalt. But is the Bosch the one with the arm, like the axle glide? Because that can go right up against the wall. It's beautiful. Think about that. Howie Z. All right. Ninja thinks you were a bit tough on the beach. During pandemics, would it be beneficial for contractors to mention they will be wearing N95 masks or other means when estimating or working in client's home? Yeah, I think so. My brother is doing it more than I am. We're working in an uninhabited house, but he has conversations with the clients where he says, we'd like you not to be there when we come or in another part of the house. We're going to come in, we're going to clean all the areas we're working on, the sinks, the toilets, whatever we're working on. Excuse me. We're going to be wearing a mask. We're wearing gloves. What I've done with a client that I'm working with is we set up a wash station in the basement with antibacterial soap, paper towels, trash bag, Lysol wipes, and gloves and masks if they want it. And oh, here's a funny story. So yeah, I think it's worthwhile doing. And I think it's worthwhile coming up with something that you'll do, but don't say it and don't do it. So whatever you promise, you need to be able to deliver. So don't go crazy because you need to be able to deliver. So mask is deliverable if you have mask. We're down to 4. We're going to be wearing respirators soon because we have a few respirators and cartridges left. But that's it. That's all we had in supply. So don't promise something you can't deliver. So funny story. We had a porta potty delivered to our job site, and all the porta potties nowadays have the antibacterial hand sanitizer. Porta potty delivered on Monday. Wednesday morning, I went in and looked at it. Somebody took the hand sanitizer from it and stolen. They took it. Now, the toilet paper was still there, which was a good thing, but somebody took our hand sanitizer. So we have to wait until the toilet gets serviced again and get a new one. And I think I'm going to have to put a lock on it because people are going in after hours and stealing the stuff. It's crazy. Are credit card swipes worth it? Jason, it's a good question. My brother uses them. They use the Foursquare thing. Goes on the phone. I tried to do it through PayPal because I have a PayPal account and I couldn't get it to work. I think it's genius, although you do pay 2%, I believe, or there's something that you have to pay when you use that service. So you got to look into that and either adjust your prices accordingly to pass that forward or eat it. But it is nice to be able to get the payment on the spot. So as a plumber, my brother is doing service calls. They go fix a leak, or maybe they swap out a water heater. Paid. They don't have to send out an invoice. It's all generated right on the spot. They have something that prints for them, so it works out great for them. All right. Overall, what would you say would be the most reliable cordless platform and the best bang for the buck? Those are 2 different categories. Best bang for the buck is Rigid. Rigid is a hidden gem of tool companies. They're super low priced. They're decent. They're durable enough to get the job done. Best cordless, reliable platform. Makita, Milwaukee DeWalt maybe. Although Hilti has a pretty low maintenance record, but they're expensive. They're hard to get. I'd probably look at Makita and Milwaukee on that one. All right. We charge $150 to $250 for a 1 hour on-site visit. Good for you, brother. That is smart. And what that does is it eliminates the tire kickers by charging for an estimate. I call it a consultation, not an estimate. Let me see. All right. OGL says Michigan told all contractors to button up their current projects and shut down until further notice. That sucks. Does the wash station get charged to the customer, or does it come out of your profit? In this situation, it came out of our profit because we didn't expect this. But you know what? It's the right thing to do. And I think if we didn't do it, we would be working there. So it made the client feel comfortable that we were washing more and we had a place to wash. They had a place to wash, come and go when they were in the house. So it was worth it. It didn't cost that much. I had the stuff at home. I just brought it. All right. Any plans to evaluate the new DeWalt Power Detect line of cordless tools? Yeah, I think we just reviewed Circular Saw or something recently. Somebody did. There's 10 of us on Toolbox Buzz. You guys know me because I do the videos, but I think somebody just did that. It might have been Dave. Dave Buffini did that. Let me see. Alex says, in the U.S., are you all job site shut down, or can you work? Because here in Belgium, we can't go to job site. So in Massachusetts, we're considered essential personnel. New Hampshire, same. A lot of places, same. Sounds like I think it was Michigan is not. We're working right now, but our phone's not ringing off the hook. So people are hunkering down, and we're lucky that we have some work scheduled out. And the work that we have scheduled out is outdoor projects, decks, porches, windows, and exterior rot replacement. So I've reached out to those people. I told them that we really need to work and we're willing to work. We'll be careful and cautious, and these are the precautions that we're taking. If they don't want us in the house, I'll pay to have a porta potty, or it'll be built to the job, or we'll agree to that. And yeah, we'll just keep that separation of contact. So I think look for outdoor jobs, look for vacant places that you can do work in. So I think that's probably a smart thing for you guys to do. Howie Z says same in Indiana. So you're working. That's great. All right, guys. I could do this all night, but it's not fair to you guys. We've been talking for an hour and 3 minutes. Cheers to you. I hope you guys stay well, stay healthy, be smart in your business practices. Look for ways to improve. Look for like-minded people like Will Endicott, Jason Foley, tile remodeling guy, people who are doing smart things and best practices. Look for them, model them, take things that they do, incorporate them into your own, and become better. All right, couple quick comments, and then I got to go. Ninja says, I'm not sure if it's just California federal policy, but the word is everything will shut down. All right, do you prefer Makita 12-volt cordless over the Milwaukee? Yes, I like the Makita 12-inch over the Milwaukee 10-inch miter saw. Thanks a million, Rob. Thank you, Howie. Thank you, Ninja. Cheers. Will Endicott, love you, buddy. Take care of yourself. And Alex, thank you. Good night, guys. Have a great night. Be safe. Sleep well.